And we are
And
recording.
we are recording.
Let's see if Simo's Pavlov training picks up. Do we see some nose drippage here?
I'm looking at the weather. It's a little bit warmer today. I think
Today's warm.
we're past the worst. It says that not this Monday, but next Monday, it could potentially be 70 degrees.
Next Monday, 70 degrees?
Not this coming Monday, but the following Monday.
I'll take it.
That's great, right?
Fucking epic. I mean, it's wild that we're recording this on Saturday, February 28th. We're at March already. Like, what the fuck? How did that happen?
I know it's only a few days less, but every February, I'm like, fuck, I just paid rent. I don't know why I always feel that way.
I know. They need to fucking like bring that down, give us like a 3-day discount or something. So I think it's bullshit.
I want that shit prorated.
That's right. Figured out by the day, motherfuckers. These bastard landlords.
Either
do something, Zoran Mandani.
Prorate that shit or give me a fucking reach round, you selfish bitch.
That's right. Reach arounds make the world go round.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do this in 3, 2, 1.
What are you doing?
Testes in my mouth.
Get on the ground, you fucking pledge.
Ew.
Welcome to the greatest podcast experience of your life. This is the FratChat Podcast.
All young men like 3 things. Food, booze, pussy.
Featuring Carlos Garcia and Chris Moore.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts in time. It's the FratChat Podcast. I'm Carlos Garcia with my returning co-host, Chris Moore. How's it going, Mr. Mo?
What's up, man? I am happy to be back, but I got stuck in Boston because of the blizzard. And when I was left to go to Boston, there's no mention of any blizzard in the forecast. So I went on Thursday, and then
that was rough.
The next day, they're like, "Oh, you might get a nor'easter." I'm like, "Oh shit, really?" And then I spent a lot of time trying to finagle a way to get back home.
When you were at the train station, figuring out if your train was going to leave and it kept getting delayed, there was one point where I saw I looked it up myself, the advisories on Amtrak and shit, and it said that your train was canceled until the next morning. But I didn't say anything to you, so I didn't want to like freak you out. But then a couple minutes later, you said there's actually a train and it's coming. But Amtrak has said no more train, and I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna get stuck there again.
Well, my trains on Sunday, I kept rebooking for like earlier or later, whatever I can get. All got canceled. Monday, they all got canceled. Tuesday morning, they all got canceled until there's one later in the afternoon. They got delayed 3 hours, and finally I got home. But like, it was crazy because I always take the Amtrak assuming that it's safer because I think I don't want to be in the sky if there's a blizzard. But if I'm like, on a train, like maybe my trip would be more secure. No.
Yeah. I'm surprised train tracks don't have like snow melting heat or something like that. Like at this point, something that they could technologically advance in it to make it not be affected by the snow. Obviously, if there's a fuck ton of it and then eventually a water puddle builds, it's going to do something. But I feel like by now, in the year of the Lord 2026, we should have a way for trains to get from point A to point B without fucking stopping. That's just me.
I'm sending you a little video. This in between each train car, there was a lot of snow. So like they don't put a cover. They don't like store the trains like in like a depot of some sort. They're just out in the snow. So a lot of snow seeped in.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow.
So I think that the trains for like all like maintenance facilities trying to get like all the snow out of them.
Yeah, maybe. What the fuck? How's there so much snow?
Yeah, I didn't understand. I was like, why is there snow in the train? Like, you guys don't close the doors? The fuck? I don't understand. Anyway, how are things with you? What's new?
Life is good. A little tired, but from good things. Papa was on set a lot, had a lot of shows this week, so I cannot complain. But we do have some unfortunate breaking news here on the FratChat Podcast. I don't know if you saw last night, as of this recording, at like 2, 3 in the morning, I happened to see a report pop up. But today's headlines are shaking the world. The United States and Israel have officially launched coordinated military strikes on Iran, making an unprecedented escalation in Middle East tensions. Reports say explosions have been heard in multiple Iranian cities as part of what the U.S. Pentagon is calling Operation Epic Fury, and Israel refers to as Operation Lion's Roar. Cute, guys. Officials from both governments claim the attacks are aimed at crippling Iran's military and missile capabilities and preventing what they describe as immediate threats. But, of course, this isn't just a conflict between armies. There are deeply troubling reports from Iranian state media that one of the strikes hit a girls' school in the southern city of Manab, where dozens of school children were killed or injured in the blast. Reports range from around 40 to over 50 young girls killed in that attack alone.
Oh, horrible.
This kind of civilian casualty, especially involved with children, is an awful sign of how severe this conflict may become. Now, Iran has already begun retaliatory missiles and drone attacks targeting U.S. and Israeli positions and bases across the Middle East, and global powers are reacting with alarm. The story is very early and rapidly evolving, and we'll have to keep you listeners posted with verified updates as they come in. Too early to tell, but as someone who recalls covering a certain president talking about no more wars once he took power, it seems like we're getting into a lot of wars already in just 1 year. So
that's such bad news. I feel like, why can't the leaders just sit in a room and hash it out? Like, don't bomb kids. I feel like if I were to say anything against Israel, because like our like party leaders are love to kiss Israel's ass. I don't understand. They're all like, we have to send them money. We have to take care of Israel. We have to maintain this rapport and this ally. Like, why? Like, what? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird to me. And so like, I feel like if I were to say, fuck Israel, let's worry about our own shit, people are like, you're anti-Semitic. No. I don't think I am anti-Semitic. I think I just don't like hearing that Israel is bombing hospitals in the Gaza Strip, and now bombing.
Somehow
now we're also now bombing
propaganda machine
girls.
Has made it seem. Somehow the propaganda machine has made it, and have to give it to the people who work in the propaganda machine, has made this happen where if you criticize anything about the government of Israel, you get called anti-Semite. It's like, no, dude. There's the difference between the religion and the fucking government. You can see that the president of Israel, or the prime minister, I should say, is doing everything he can to stay in power, which is why he went from one conflict to the next. Like, if you can't see that, then I don't know what to tell you, brother. It's very clear. The guy even had fucking embezzlement charges and shit, and he's stolen money from his people before the Hamas conflict. The country Israel was in a fucking almost civil war, and so clearly this man is just trying to hold on to power. And Trump, even him, when we were talking about Obama before we started recording, Trump himself even used to accuse Obama of starting conflicts with Iran when he was president to save himself because of his low ratings. Or he even has one. Remember that I predicted a long time ago that President Obama will attack Iran because of his inability to negotiate properly. Not skilled. Okay, believe me. These are like real tweets. So Trump's approval ratings right now are lower than they have ever been. They're lower than any president has had in the last like fucking 40 years, which is saying something. And of course,
how do we find these approval? Like, who's voting on these approvals? because I think they're always
Well,
like his ratings are low. Okay, well, what study? Who did they panel? I never understand that.
Well, it's different. It's different sample sizes, but there's a bunch of different ones out there. Like there's AP polls, there's obviously CNN, Fox News, whatever, and then you kind of see the averages, and then you kind of go from there. But in all of them, he is not performing well, and this is even on like his own like Fox News polls that are usually skewed and bullshitty. So his approval ratings are, I believe, right now like 30 to 32%, which is awful. And it might even be in the 20s at this point, which is just fucking awful. So, yeah, anything.
I think he's aiming for
good old history. When a president needs ratings, what do? They start a conflict and hope for that nationalism. But when you directly campaign to no new wars and now you're sending Americans off to die left and right just to fucking keep yourself in power, I'm sorry, but that's not cool.
So his ratings were out of 100 in the 30s and now maybe in the 20s?
Yes, correct.
So he's probably aiming for the teens. That's like more his like style.
That's right.
Sick pedophile.
As long as it's not 12 or under. Okay, believe me.
Yikes.
12 or lower is as low as I'll go. But yeah.
Well, I don't want my taxpayer money going towards wars that bomb children's schools. That makes me really sick to the stomach. And I'm very upset about that.
Totally. And of course, everything that will happen was also to deviate and get people to stop talking about a certain Epstein boy and a certain Epstein files, and notice that the New York Times had just corroborated that Trump's own Justice Department and the FBI were hiding documents that made Donald Trump look bad. And there's still millions of documents that are hidden and things like that. And that they were actively deleting things that made Donald Trump look guilty and super bad documents. All of this it came out this past week, and all of a sudden he decides to bomb Iran. Coincidence? I think not.
No, my mom used to tell me, she's like, don't hang out with the wrong crowd because you will be judged based on the company that you keep. And I feel like my mom needs to sit down with Donald Trump and say, don't hang out with Benjamin Netanyahu and your friends in Russia because they're going to take you to the dark side. You have to hang out with nice people and it'll rub off on you.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, so we will have to keep you posted again. This conflict started happening in the wee hours of the night. It's literally less than 10 hours ago. This is all the information we have so far. Of course, it's very worrisome, but hopefully this is something that doesn't escalate and lead us into a bigger conflict, because God knows that's the last thing we need right now in this country. So we shall keep you posted. But now it's time to hear from you guys, because it's time for emails from the listeners. And we have some great ones this week. I don't know which one of us should start, because these are both fantastic. I guess I'll let you be number 2 this week, and you'll see why, listeners. I'll go first. And I have an email from Anthony from Florida, who says the subject is Nightmare Under the Covers. Ooh, that sounds a little scary. So he goes, "Hey, Frat Chat guys, I could really use some advice here. A couple of nights ago, I was trying to do something nice for my lady down under. Or no, something nice for my ladies down under, if you know what I mean."
I don't know what you mean. Can you draw me a picture?
Let me draw you. So you do, it kind of looks like that.
I wish this picture was scratch and sniff.
So it goes like that. Looks like he's licking a pudding pop,
It really should be an Olympic sport because it's quite the art. But go ahead.
That's right. So, a couple of nights ago, I was trying to do something nice for my ladies down under, if you know what I mean. I was using my best moves down there too. the ABCs, the rolling of the R's. Oh, Antonio from Florida.
I was going to say,
I wasn't sensing. That's right. The ABCs, rolling of the R's, but I wasn't sensing that she was super into it. About 8 minutes and some lockjaw later, I took a peek out from under the covers and realized a horrible thing. She had fallen asleep in the middle of it. Oh, now I'm completely mortified. That's awful. Now I'm completely mortified. Do I bring it up or pretend it never happened? And does this mean I'm somehow bad at this, or was it just bad timing? Please help me, Anthony from Florida. Yes, you're 1,000% bad at it, Anthony. I have never, ever, 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 ever had a girl fall asleep when that was happening to her. Like,
me
it's
neither.
Like all those nerves down there that make them feel good when you do the rolling of the R's or the ABCs. You can tell me they fell asleep? What the fuck, dude? What, did you Cosby her? What did you do? Like, what the fuck? What were you doing down there?
You know,
I want answers, Anthony.
I feel like vaginas are interesting things because so obviously I'm gay. I haven't touched a vagina in a very long time, but I used to. Yep. Surprise, surprise. So I feel like in my experience, like in college, that vaginas, like if you're slow and steady and they're enjoying it, just keep going and eventually they'll get there. But if you switch things up and they're not liking it, you got to start from scratch. Whereas like with dudes, if you're like going to town and you do something different, a guy might be like, whoa, don't do that. And then you just pick up where you left off and you're good to go. So I feel like
totally.
Guys can get off a lot more easily than I think girls can. That's just from my experience. And so I feel like, you know, if you've been with this girl for a while, that maybe you guys should have communicated like what she likes. Stop trying to do like weird moves. ABCs, are you kidding me? You're a loser, Anthony from Florida. Yikes.
I mean, really though, it's like, I don't want to make you feel bad, Anthony, but again, to fall asleep, like, you know how bad you have to have been doing for that to happen? Like, what the fuck? I have been, you know, I've gotten sexy time from ladies when I've been in a brink of a brown out, blackout, pass out, you know, I'm like barely in there. But as soon as my weenie comes out, I'm alive. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hell yeah. And then afterwards I can go to sleep. But, yeah, no, I don't know if you should even address it. I think you should. If I'm you, I just try to act like it never happened.
I would change my name. I would become a priest. And
I would move.
I'd be like, no more sex for me. I'm clearly not good at it. I'll refrain.
However, because that doesn't seem to stop all priests sometimes. So I don't know.
Can you
shout out Father Thomas.
If this girl was like on her back, texting her friends, like, he's humming the ABCs again. I know what he's doing. Like, this is so ridiculous.
This is awful. I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm going to read a book. She read the dictionary to make it go faster.
She's on Amazon.
Would you talk to if a partner? No, go on.
She's on Amazon and while he's going down on her, she's like, babe, you're doing a great job. But on a different note, is there anything else you want from Amazon? I'm ordering fabric sheets and paper towels and some hand soap. Anything else you need? How about a clue? You need a clue?
Yeah. I mean, come on, dude. That's rough. Again, I have to say, I don't know if it's because I speak Spanish, but I have heard from the ladies that I'm quite good at that down there. And I also have heard from ladies whose significant others are terrible at it. And it's so bad that they're like, oh, it's okay. You don't have to do it to me. And it's like, to me, that's like unheard of. Like, what the fuck?
What is
so bad at something that don't ask me to do it?
What is your prize technique?
I don't know. I actually think it might be the Spanish tongue, because tongues, it's all about muscles in them, you know, like for example, Chinese people don't have the R sound in their language. But and Americans don't have the hard R. You guys have the little R, you know. But rumba, that shit strengthens your tongue. So I do think it's the rolling of the R's in the Spanish language that makes Spanish tongue more powerful.
When you said Spanish tongue,
means you can last longer.
I thought you meant that maybe the tongue was spicy because maybe you ate some nachos and like it added a little heated effect. Right. I didn't know what you meant by that.
I will say I had a girl. She used mouthwash and then went down there after the mouthwash, and then it started like stinging, like ah. So yeah, no spicy foods before taking care of your lady, folks. And you can give her third-degree burns.
No bueno.
But it's okay to be in the middle of it. I will say we don't all start knowing. You know, not everybody knows how to ride a bike at first. You know, you don't just get on a bike, take off the training wheels, and you're doing backflips on the BMX. It entailed talking to your lady, you know, and saying, hey, what do you like? This is good. Cool. And then eventually you start figuring it out. And then once you learn how to kind of, you know, where all the pieces of the vagina are, where all the parts, then you can focus on the pleasure. But you have to know where you're at before you dig for treasure. You know what I mean? You need to have the map here before you go searching for gold. You don't just start digging. What the fuck? That's how you get into the wrong spot.
Do you think Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, do you think that fucking DL Demon Queen, do you think that he would be able to draw an anatomically correct diagram of female genitalia?
Oh, of course not. I feel like anytime he's been near one, it's been with the lights off and his eyes closed.
Mother!
Yeah, that's right. Ew! Ew, 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 ew. There's not a chance in hell that man's not on Grindr. I'll tell you that much. That is definitely...
His wife is like, I want to make another baby. And he's like, okay, let me get the turkey baster. I'll be right back.
So true. 2 for 1 on Amazon before the tariffs. Oh boy. Yeah. That is no good. No good. So Anthony, for once, I don't know how to help you. Usually we come out of these emails from the listeners with some kind of resolution here. I don't know what to tell you. If this is an actual relationship and not a hookup, then you gotta fucking do something, buddy. I guess talk to her about it. Be like, hey, you fell asleep. Do I suck at this? You're gonna have to find out. But that's just me. What do you think? And then we'll move on.
I think that Anthony, please don't stop listening to the podcast, but like you suck at cunnilingus. You should Google tips and ask questions.
Yeah.
And I think that the average lover, like you're on the same team. Like obviously she wants to get off and you want her to get off. So like just ask her. Like, how do you like this? I would actually bring it up. I would say, listen, I'm a little embarrassed to say that my vagina licking skills put you to sleep last night. So what can I do differently? And I'll take notes, you know? I think that she would be open to that.
Like your partner,
okay,
do you like that? Does that feel good? It's a good way to go. That's, you know, communication in the bedroom, because a lot of partners are ashamed to like speak up and be like, oh, that doesn't feel good. But if you ask them and you make them feel safe about it, then they'll tell you, and then it'll help your sex life so much better. So yeah, I'm with you.
And then she's going to say,
bury yourself and run away.
I like this and that. This is how Uncle Eddie taught me. The family reunion. Let's play a little game, guys, called Run Till Uncle Eddie Touches You. Yes. Everyone's a winner.
Let's play Find the Quarter, Uncle Eddie.
Yeah. Let's find the quarter. Meanwhile, has anyone seen my kid's hamster? He's starting to freak out. Anyone seen it? No? Uncle Eddie. Uncle Eddie. Again.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, good luck and Godspeed, Anthony from Florida. But now, we're going to move on down to Mr. Simo He has Jeremy from Providence, Rhode Island. Very nice. I think it's the first
Yes.
Rhode Islander we've
I
had.
thought Providence was in Massachusetts, but that's Provincetown. I always get them mixed up. Anyhow, so he writes, he says, "Dear FratChat, I know everybody poops." When I was going through the emails, I'm like, and everybody poops, winner. I'm picking this one. He's speaking to the right person. I love poop humor. I know everybody poops, but not everybody is pooping in front of an audience. Last week, I was in the shower and my girlfriend came in and took a massive dump. It smelled so bad that I scrubbed my entire body again to get the stench off of me. While shitting, she never apologized. Instead, she told me about the plan she had for the day. Some of my buddies told me to expect more of this if I plan to marry her, but I don't want any more of this, especially since we have 2 full bathrooms to avoid this. Do I bring this up? Is this normal? Am I the asshole for complaining that my girlfriend is super comfortable around me? I'm open to any advice that you have. Jeremy from Providence, Rhode Island. Thank you for the sound effects. Carlos, this is the sound that I heard on stage while you were in the bathroom during your show on Wednesday.
That's where I got it from. All my sound effects are self-recorded.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the FratChat Podcast.
Well, can I tell you that I messaged my friend Maggie. She's such a babe. This girl is a jewelry designer, which is like every kid's dream job. She's a jewelry designer, works at a bar part-time. She babysits. She's a fucking hustler. And I'm like, what a babe. So I asked her, I said, what are your thoughts on this from a female perspective? Because I would just lock the door. I don't even know if I would say anything. Yeah. I would just get in the habit of locking the door because that's fucking weird. Like I don't like that. You know, my ex.
Oh no, I would say something for sure. I'm sitting there in the shower and Julie comes in and sits down while I'm in the said shower and takes a massive shit, I'm like, no. Like if I did that to her, she would fucking kill me. Well, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
He did it one time.
Now, if it's an emergency situation, we only have one bathroom here. They said they have 2. If it's an emergency, I'm in the shower and she's coming from work or something. It's like this is a do or die or a do and die, and you're in there. Okay, dude, go do your thing. I get it. That's an exception to the rule. But if we have a perfectly good bathroom on the other side of the fucking apartment and she comes in to shit where I'm fucking showering and stowing me with her smellies, I'm like, because then it's on. I'm gonna do it back. And trust me, I fucking 200 pounds. I can shit, buddy. She doesn't want to play this game with me. I'll tell you that much.
Well, my ex did this to me one time, and while it was happening, I said, "What are you doing? Never do that again. That's so gross. I would never do that to you. You can't in one breath tell me that you love me and then do this to me." And so then after that happened, I locked the door every time I went to take a shower. I'm like, I had to protect myself. So anyway, my friend, her name's Maggie. She said, I asked her what her opinion was, because I didn't want to sound like I was mean to ladies, but I think it's fucking weird. She said, honestly, I would simply have that conversation with her. He can love that she feels comfortable, but he's allowed to have boundaries. And truthfully, that's one I would want. It also shows strength on his side because all women want is communication. If he told me that I would feel embarrassed, yes, but after a while I would laugh it off as the past and respect my partner. Then as a reward for being good, next time this happens, I would go shit first and then go to the other bathroom and jump in the shower with my partner as a reward. Booyah.
Well, as long as you wipe. I don't know, I should have come in. with that dirty booty and start backing that thing up on me, I'm okay. I'm okay. Post poopy relations can wait. That's just me.
I just I mean, peeing is one thing, I guess, but
yeah, peeing is totally acceptable. Peeing is totally acceptable. I don't care. It doesn't smell.
Pee has a
but
scent.
If I'm sitting there, well, if you eat too much
asparagus, I don't want to smell it, but I feel like shit is inevitable. You're going to smell something, and like when I'm in the process of cleansing my physical body, it's hard for me to feel clean if I have an aroma of poop in the air.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And for some reason, in the bathroom, while the shower is running, I feel like poop smells worse. In my opinion,
it gets cooked.
I don't know if it's the moisture. Yeah, something happens to it. It gets weird, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. So
horrible.
Yeah, don't poop in front of your partners, people. Don't do that to your partner. That's fucked up.
Jeremy, I think you should move and change your number because your girlfriend doesn't love you. There you go. She doesn't love you. You know what she loves? Voyeurism.
She's trying to drive you away.
She's an exhibitionist.
Absolutely.
Because it sounds like how to lose a guy in 10 days.
Jeremy.
Don't take that shit.
That's right. Don't take that shit, Jeremy. No. All right. So that is emails from the listeners, you guys. And now we go on to the real news that we had for this week, because this is a crazy news report that Mr. Simo and I found out this week. Mm-hmm. And we're coming at you with the wild true crime story about Caleb Flynn, who was arrested on February 19th, 2026 in Tip City, Ohio, and hit with murder, felonious assault, and tampering with evidence charges over the death of his wife, Ashley Flynn. Yeah. So, police alleged that he shot her and tried to make it look like a burglary before they figured out something didn't add up. He's currently sitting in jail with a $2 million bond after pleading not guilty in court. And here's the kicker. You might remember him from back in 2013 after Caleb gave it a shot on season 12 of American Idol.
I remember.
He didn't exactly become the next Kelly Clarkson or anything. He made it past the auditions and earned a golden ticket to Hollywood Week, which is more than most nerds can say, but he was cut before the live rounds. The only real Idol fame he got was from the Road to Hollywood interview package they filmed of him. The kind that ends up on the official Idol YouTube, which I believe you can still find, where in it, he talked up his music, said he had tried out a couple times before, and hyped how much his wife pushed him to go for it. There's even a video of him saying something like, "I absolutely love the Lord, and I love my wife more than anything in the world. She's very, very pretty. Oof, I love her." Which is exactly the kind of wholesome bro moment that made fans remember him, even if he didn't go deep into the competition. And now, that whole Idol backstory is just chilling in the context of what's going on with his murder charges. His wife, Ashley, was pronounced dead on February 16th after police responded to a call made by Caleb from inside his Tip City, Ohio home around 2:30 in the morning, where he told dispatchers someone had broken in and shot his wife while their 2 elementary-age daughters were asleep in another room. Ugh. He said he didn't know if the intruder was still around. And in a 911 call obtained by People magazine, Flynn can be heard saying, "Somebody broke into my home and killed my wife. Please, please hurry. She's got 3 shots to her and blood everywhere. Ashley, baby, please, oh my God." He later added that she had been shot in the head. But when officers got to the house, Ashley, 37, was found with fatal gunshot wounds to the head inside their home. There were 2 spent shell casings nearby, and her children and the family dogs were inside but unharmed, which made police immediately get suspicious. Because while the garage door was open, there was a refrigerator parked in front of it inside the garage, meaning someone would have to move it to get in, which is weird for a burglar, quote unquote, to do that. They later determined parts of the scene appeared staged, not like a chaotic home invasion. Flynn was arrested. Yeah, exactly. And he definitely watched like one too many like FBI Files episode, and he thought that he was like a genius and fucked it all up, because most people do. He was arrested on February 19th, 2026 and booked into the Miami County Jail on charges that include murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence. He again pled not guilty. But during his arraignment on February 20th, he appeared emotional and told the judge he only wanted to take care of his daughters and that he wasn't a danger. Even as prosecutors described the shooting and staging allegations, a judge still slapped him with what some are calling a well-deserved $2 million bond. And Ashley, his now deceased wife, her family has publicly expressed deep grief about her death and trust in law enforcement to get this right. They described her as a beloved substitute teacher, middle school volleyball coach with a big heart, and asked for privacy as they mourn. So we send the real thoughts and prayers to this family, not the ones that the Republican Party likes to send, because that is truly awful. And his wife was honestly absolutely beautiful. She seemed like an all-around good person. Obviously, this case just happened. This was less than 10 days ago as of this recording that he was arrested for the murder. So we will have to keep you posted as to what led to this, why he decided to kill her. And as of note, right now, this is all filed under the allegedly, because I guess innocent until proven guilty. But it doesn't look good for him. It does not look good.
And yeah. You know what? I don't trust them Jesus freaks. I'm not saying everyone that's a Christian is a Jesus freak. I'm talking about people who are so performative with their religion. And so like, I've always been taught like, be careful of, the freakazoids that sit in the front row, the first pew at church. Like when people are so performative about it, I'm like, I don't trust you one bit. And I think, and he gave me the sense that he was very performative in his faith. Like just be, you can be devout without being like weirdly annoying about it. You know what I mean?
I 1,000% agree. And it's usually the most devout people that are just the biggest fake Christians, which, or the fake devouts, like, because the real devouts are not in your face about religion. They quietly practice it, as is what Jesus wanted you to do. Like if you read the Bible, Jesus specifically talks about the performative Christians, the rich people who use it to get more power, the people who use it to look holier than thou. It says those are fake Christians.
Matthew 6, they talk about it.
Exactly. So, but it just goes to show that these people love to pick and choose from the Bible, and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about half the case. So yeah, there's a difference between a Christian and a fake Christian. And I think it's important for us to differentiate that the differences, but there are a lot of fake Christians out there. And unfortunately, many of those are in positions of power where they just use the Bible to make rules for thee, not for me. So I worry too. Whenever I see one of those like overly Christian people, and I was raised Catholic, which means I've seen these people a lot in my life. I can spot them out a mile away. But when I see them, I stay the fuck away from them, because fuck that.
Yeah.
But anywho,
agreed.
Again, we'll keep you posted with this story. I do have to say, I'm just glad it wasn't William Hung, because he's still a national treasure. Shebang, shebang. I really hope nothing ever happens to him and that we have to cancel him or send him to hell, because I still love that man. And yes, I bang. Okay. Now, we're going to move on to today's topic, and I promise you, not the drag queens will be back next week, but we're already at the usual time, but we got to get to the topic, so I don't want to make the show 90 hours long. It's not a marathon, but next week, it's a return of Not the Drag Queens. We pinky promise to you guys. But now it's time to get to today's topic. Because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, frat chatters of all ages. We got ourselves a good one. We got ourselves a great one. We have one that Mr. Mo suggested, actually. And it kind of works out perfectly because we've been seeing a lot of shows like the return of the Villains TV show. And, Traitors just ended, all the stuff where the evil reality stars are getting a shine on them. And so this week, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, frat chatters of all ages, we're going to talk about the absolute menaces of reality TV shows. We're going to talk about not the messy ones, not the loud ones, not the people who just cried a lot. We're talking about the true villains, the masterminds, the chaos merchants, the ones who lied, manipulated, sabotaged, and detonated friendships for money, power, or sometimes just screen time. Because reality TV isn't built on heroes, damn it. It's built on conflict. And conflict needs someone willing to cross the lines the rest of us wouldn't even dare to step near. Some of them were brilliant. Some of them were unhinged. All of them made incredible television. So this week, we're ranking the most evil reality TV stars of all time, based on ruthlessness, manipulation, psychological warfare, and just how much damage they caused while smiling at that camera for those 15 minutes of fame. So let's get villainous, FratChat Podcast. It's time. Oh, yeah! Now I feel good. Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to get evil. So we got 10 for you. We have seen them in some of the most famous reality TV shows of all time. Now it's time to bring them to you. So, would you like to go first, Mr. Mo, or would you like me to start?
I'll go first. So remember back in the day, those like white people reality TV shows for like teenagers called like Laguna Beach and like The Hills and things like that.
Yeah, buddy.
So The Hills, there was a character named Spencer Pratt. Remember him?
Yes, do I ever. He actually popped up in last season of the Villains show.
Yeah, as a special guest.
For like, exactly.
He didn't age well.
No.
To be honest, I never trust someone that has a flesh-colored beard. Like his facial hair was the same color as his skin, and I was like, this is weird. He was really erratic and like mean, and it seemed like he had some. I couldn't tell if this was like his on-screen persona or if he just really had some major anger management issues. So I was always nervous for his girlfriend. But anyway, he spread rumors about a sex tape involving Lauren Conrad and an ex, and Lauren was like the show lead. And she was best friends with this girl named Heidi Montag, but then I think that this rumor kind of like was the beginning of the end for their friendship. Spencer was a little possessive and actively worked to cut Heidi Montag off from her friends. And his behavior extended to strange obsessions. So like at one point he was like really fixated on expensive crystals. I don't know. But he was known for like having crazy outbursts, including threatening a producer and being abusive towards his sister, Stephanie Pratt. Despite the backlash. And
here's the thing. I was going to say it real quick. You can see, because you said he looked like he had a lot of anger management stuff. You could see from his face that he's a guy who, like, the switch would snap. And I stopped you right there. You did, because it's very interesting that he was abusing his sister. He's definitely one of those people that only has the type of outburst of someone he knows he can, like, beat up or abuse. Like women, smaller people than him, things like that. Guarantee he wouldn't do that shit to someone who could fuck him up. But so like me. He definitely looks like the typical woman abuser type guy. But that's just me. But keep going.
Well, despite the backlash, so Spencer Pratt has expressed pride in his role. He said in an interview, he's like, obviously it'd be great if everyone loved me, but like I'm proud of the work that I did and the persona that I have, and like some people don't like me. It is what it is. Even led to being considered one of reality TV's most notorious villains, and he's proud of that title. And he recently, in January, announced that he'll be running for mayor of Los Angeles on the Republican ticket.
No. Oh my God. And of course he's running for the GOP because that's just what, unqualified reality stars.
I was going to say, no more reality stars in the office, guys. Come on. No more. We learned from this.
Come on, dude. Do you see what Dr. Oz is doing in his post? It's bad, people. Come on. These morons. The Republican Party doesn't need any more morons. Lauren Boebert is already going viral for not even being able to answer what the fuck inflation was. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see this.
The saddest. Oh my God! Here, I will play this to you because this is crazy. But this goes to show this is what Spencer Pratt would be adding to
inflation.
Well, inflation is when the price of things is too expensive because the federal government really squandering the tax dollars. So you have the Green New Scam, hundreds of billions of dollars spent there to provide affordable energy, and it was not affordable. It was never free. It was never discounted. That money was taken from the American people and forced into the system. It wasn't free market.
What is inflation?
But she has no idea. Inflation is a fucking increase in prices. That's all it is. She's sitting there well, it's when the government, the thing, and then the thing happens, and the bitch sits in Congress.
She's such an insufferable cunt.
She's awful, and I'm not gonna lie, total babe, which kind of kills it for me. But the inside of her is just so ugly that I can't be attracted to her, even though she is a total babe. Like I have eyes, she's very beautiful, but on the inside, she's so goddamn just hideous. And it's like, dude, at first, for example, she was supporting the release of the Epstein files until it came time to go with Daddy Trump. I'd go against Daddy Trump, and then she's been very quiet about that shit and telling people we should move on. So
I will never forget
when
when
she
got
Pratt
caught
joining into.
Yeah, totally. She got caught getting handsy in the theater of the Beetlejuice show.
Give that guy a hand job.
And she was like, someone recorded a very private moment between me and someone else. No one recorded anything. You were on security cameras.
It was a security camera.
Very clear that you were doing something very inappropriate. Something so inappropriate that people like PB Herman got arrested for it. But how you managed to stay out of jail is beyond me.
And no, the only reason why the theater released that tape was because she kept saying that she wasn't doing anything wrong and that she had been removed for her political positions and for being a MAGA person. And then the theater was like, no, we fucking didn't. We have the proof. And then she called her bluff, and then they fucking put her out there. And then she ended up blaming it on the guy she gave a hand job to because he was a Democrat. That is, I swear to God, that was his excuse. It said that his Democrat evil essentially made her powerless to not touch his dick in a public theater during Beetlejuice, of all plays. Why would Beetlejuice make you horny?
Speak for yourself.
Beetlejuice. It's a fucking thing about a corpse. A corpse with magic powers. And you're like,
yeah.
What? That's okay.
I would have grabbed Beetlejuice's head like a pair of handlebars, his crazy hair, and just go to town.
That's right.
Ride that face to work. Beetlejuice.
Yeah, maybe that's what Spencer Pratt once said. He wants the old Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, he was crazy, dude. He was definitely crazy. Great one to start on. There's just something about him that I was never even a Hills guy, but I would see him and just know that there was something off about him. I would never want him to date anyone in my family. I'll tell you that much.
Samesies.
But anyways, going on. For my first one, I'm going to go to one of my favorite reality TV shows of all time, where I have to say, the people that were the biggest villains back then seem to be some of the sweeter and nicer people now. But of course, you can't talk about reality TV villains without talking about the Jersey Shore's Mike the Situation Sorrentino, because he was a piece of work, to say the least. And I put him at 5 on my end because, as I said, over the years, he went to rehab, he did all these things. He's like helping people be better. He helps charities. He does motivational speaking. He really has turned his life around, and now he seems to be an overall good guy. But during the OG seasons of the Jersey Shore, Mike the Situation was a reality villain of all villains. For one thing, he would expose hookups specifically to blow up friendship. Like, he claimed that he hooked up with cast member Snooki before she got serious with Gianni, who is now her husband and father of her kids. And instead of keeping it private, he repeatedly brought her up on camera, threatening to, quote unquote, tell the truth when she denied it. She told different roommates different pieces of the story and used it as leverage whenever he felt isolated in the house. He even went ahead and told Gianni as well that he did this. And the more she would deny it, the more he would escalate it. And it literally created like a whole house-wide fracture between the Jersey Shore members. And that tension eventually spiraled into the infamous meltdown where he literally headbutted a wall during a fucking fight. And whether people believed him or not, the damage was done. He turned one alleged hookup into a season-long psychological standoff, where like Snooki literally looked like she was having a fucking mental breakdown. He would also tell roommates different versions of events. For example, during the Ronnie and Sammy relationship implosions, Mike frequently told Ronnie one version of what the house thought, and then he would go on and tell Sammy another version of what Ronnie was saying. And then he would repeat rumors in a way that made him look neutral while clearly stirring that pot and fanning those flames. He would position himself as, I'm just being honest, while maximizing the drama in the house. And note, while he wasn't always the originator of the chaos, he was often the amplifier. But he would also try to isolate cast members socially. He would manufacture tension just to control the house narrative. Again, he literally fucking headbutted a wall in Italy during a meltdown. And he treated the Shore house like a chessboard and himself as the puppet master. Sloppy at times, but man, that man was undeniably villainous. This is the situation. And his stupid abs. God, he was such a dick. The thing about him is he was so entertaining that I still would laugh, but he was the one that, like, at the time, like, I despised that guy. I thought he was such a dick. He's like the guy I would try to fight in a bar. You know what I mean? I thought all the other ones were cool, but I thought he was such a tool. And now he's like one of my favorites. So funny how people change.
Well,
what did
Jail
you think
will
of
do
the old
that.
Situation? That's right. Jail would do that. That's true. I didn't even talk about his taxes and all that shit. There's most of that's happened outside of the show, but he's a guy that he went from being broke to having all this money, and he'll tell you himself. He wrote a book. Fame, he did not take it well. It went right to his head. He was buying all these cars, doing drugs, and all this shit, blowing all this money, not paying taxes. Like, he was really living life in the worst way possible. So yeah, but his work on the show, like, to this day, you watch it, it's like, man, what an evil fuck. It really holds up.
Well, Jail got my shit together, so it made my booty hole like uber loose. But aside from that, everything else was a positive experience. Okay,
yeah, I got your shit together. It's all in a bucket over there.
Yeah, it just comes out like lava. Okay, so
that's right.
My next one is from RuPaul's Drag Race. Fifi O'Hara, also known as Jeremy Carey.
I remember Fifi.
So Jeremy's a friend of mine.
Really?
Jeremy is a lovely person from Chicago. And before I talk about why Jeremy is notorious on this show, I just want to say that during one of the hurricanes, maybe it was Hurricane Maria, I forget, but he organized a lot of drag shows and donated all the proceeds, like 100 G's, to victims of like Hurricane Maria. And he, when I was younger, before he got on the show, there were a lot of drag queens in the drag community that like didn't have a place to stay, and he would say, "Listen, like I don't have much, but like you can sleep on my couch as long as you need to." Like he would help other drag queens with constructions of outfits because he was very crafty and quite the seamstress. So he was always a very giving person. But he explained to me that when you're on a show, sometimes the producers will be like, well, what would you say if I told you that someone called you this? And he would say, well, I would probably say this and that. And so they would kind of like get a lot of sound bites from the cast and then use them whenever they wanted to. So he would say, it's unfair because some of these things I did say, but it was taken out of context. And he said, there were moments I did nice things, but that was like off brand for me on the show. So they didn't air that. Like, for example, he won a phone call home and he gave it to someone else so they could call their significant other as a nice gesture, but they weren't going to air that. So like, I do think that on one hand, people are like, well, you said it, you did it, it's reality TV. But you and I both know that reality TV isn't entirely reality. And
sometimes the producers will feed lines to these people, and it's like, okay, you're gonna be the evil one, so like make sure you act this way, and things get fed for sure.
Yeah, we just saw on the Tyra Banks America's Next Top Model expose that like, yeah, a lot of things are crafted for entertainment reasons only, and what can you do? But anyway, so Fifi O'Hara, aka Jeremy Carey, who it really is a lovely person. So the drag race ecosystem runs on bitchiness, and Fifi, hands down, is probably the bitchiest contestant on the show to date, and she even had a single called "Bitchy," I think. Right?
Really? Good for her.
I think she did.
Yeah, I have to say that show, they are ruthless, man. They like, I haven't seen a whole lot of it, but the little I have seen, it's like these queens talk a lot of shit to each other, and they say some shit that is ruthless. They showed a clip of Plain Jane. She is now on season 3 of the House of Villains. And they showed her, her intro, like, because when they introduce all the villains, they show all the shit that they would do to people. And they show her talking shit to some other drag queen. It's like, it looks like you bought this shit. It looks like you bought your clothes from a homeless shelter, bitch. And then you see all the other drag queens in the corner, like, it's fucking so funny. Like, I've been there in these shit talking groups, you know what I mean? But it's like seeing it from the point of the drag queens is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Bitches be catty, man. You can't talk shit to a drag queen unless you're ready to bring it. They fucking got jokes, man. It's like, woo, that show is ruthless.
By the way, yes, Fifi O'Hara has a single from like 11 years ago. I think it is called "Bitchy." She's got some pipes on her. She's a good singer. But anyway, so at the beginning of the first season of her first season. So she was on season 4, I believe. And like on the earlier episodes, she kind of sabotaged a fellow queen because she was very much like, I'm going to win at all costs. Jiggly Caliente was the queen, and I think she passed away fairly recently. So that's sad. So even though Jeremy or Fifi O'Hara sabotaged Jiggly, they were able to make up years later, and they were best of friends. And so I know that Fifi was really really affected by the death of her bestie Jiggly. But anyway, so Fifi has a soundbite or like a viral moment when she told that, remember Sharon Needles? She won that season. Fifi said, go back to Party City where you belong. So it's kind of fun. And then so Fifi came back to RuPaul's Drag Race, but she wanted to like clean up her image. So the fans were really mean to her. I remember Jeremy telling me this, like there were like death threats and like people were so nasty. And so Jeremy came back for season 2 of All Stars. And ultimately, he kind of clashed with Alyssa Edwards, who was a fan favorite. And ultimately, Fifi or Jeremy did not attend RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 2 reunion because she was upset over her villain edit. And felt production twisted her words. She wanted to avoid having her, RuPaul, and the producers' interactions twisted further, opting out to take control of her own narrative. I have here that she was pretty much known for adopting a cutthroat approach to the competition, which is often framed negatively compared to other contestants and storylines. And then Jeremy has maintained that the show heavily edited scenes to highlight negative bitchy moments and pushed for manufactured drama. One of Jeremy's claim to fame after the show was 365 Days of Drag, where she had this like phenomenal, beautiful, photo op of a different drag persona. And so for 365 days straight, posted something, and they were all beautiful, amazing, some cosplay, but super talented. So it's sad that this reputation has affected her professional career, because she really, from my memory before the show, was probably one of the most generous and thoughtful drag queens that we had in Chicago. But what can you do? That's reality TV for you.
Yep. Oh, man.
Anyway, who do you have next?
Fifi O'Hara. I would not have wanted to get on her bad side, because my self-esteem is already hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
So, on to the next one. I'm going to go with one of the most popular reality TV shows of all time and one of the most long-lasting reality TV shows of all time. We're going to Survivor, and this is Russell Hantz, or Huntz, I don't know how to pronounce it, from Survivor Samoa and Survivor Heroes versus Villains. And the thing is, this man was fucking ruthless. For one thing, it doesn't matter if you're playing with him or against him. He would go as far as to sabotage his own tribe, so his own team, on purpose. Like, also early in Survivor Samoa, the guy wouldn't just lie strategically. He would create misery for everyone. For example, he burned a tribe mate's socks while he was out there, out in the they're living out in the jungles of Samoa. What the fuck? You need your socks. He would dump out the water from their canteens. He would hide their tribe's machete, which makes life way more difficult when you're out there in the brush without a machete to get around, and just overall cause general camp chaos. And why? Because he wanted people tired, paranoid, and unstable so he could control them. He found himself, he would find hidden immunity symbols, or idols as they're called, in Survivor without clues, which is important because normally on Survivor, you need certain clues to find hidden, these idols hidden around the island that gives them, immunity and pluses and things like that. Russell completely ignored that system and just started searching aggressively in obvious places production might hide something, like near trees, under bridges, by landmarks, and he found multiple idols without any clues, which was unheard of at the time. And like I say, pretty smart. This meant that even if people would vote against him, he could cancel their votes, or he could blindside people safely as well. And he could control outcomes when he didn't even have the majority numbers. It basically turned him into a tactical weapon. He would also control votes through fear. He would tell allies that they were nothing without him. He would threaten to expose secrets. He promised protection if people stay loyal. Constantly reminded people that he had idols. He was honestly basically like the Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein of the Survivor world. You're either with him or blackmailed by him. It's the exact same thing, which of course would lead to a power imbalance where players felt safer with him and against him, which is quote unquote, note, that's not a friendship, that's leverage. Mm-hmm. So he also orchestrated brutal blindsides on the show, which in Survivor terms, a blindside means voting someone out without them knowing. So Russell masterminded multiple blindsides where he reassured someone that they were safe, encouraged them not to play their idol, and then eliminated them. One of his most famous moves was also voted out strong strategic players while keeping weaker allies who would stay loyal to him, which was cold as hell. And again, would make him fit right in with the current presidential administration. Fit right in. But the fatal flaw of his is he burnt the jury, which is where it gets wild. Because in Survivor, when you vote someone out, then they go to a jury. And then at the end, that same jury decides who wins. But Russell would like talk down to people, publicly humiliate allies. He would take credit for everything, treat relations like transactions. So when he reached the final tribal council, the jury respected his strategy, but they hated him personally. However, he used his evil to dominate 2 seasons strategically, but as it tends to happen to people like this in the long run, and pay attention, Mr. President, he ended up losing both. So, long story short, Russell Hantz didn't care if the other players hated him, which is what makes him a legendary villain material. And let me tell you, if you've never seen Survivor, check it out. Watch his seasons. He is like the ultimate piece of shit almost. It gets
he
worse
looks
as
like
this list
a
goes
character
on.
that Joe Pesci would play.
Right? It does kind of look like someone Joe Pesci would play.
He looks like a tool.
What do you mean? You think I'm funny? Huh? You get out of here. You give me your socks. Give me your socks. Come here, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
he does
sound
look
like
like
him.
Joe Pesci.
Come here, kid.
Right? that's my grounding word. Get me into Joe Pesci, kid. Love that word. Come here, kid. Like Trump is like, okay, believe me. You have to have the things. Joe Pesci.
Come here, kid.
Yeah.
You think I'm funny? Huh?
But yes, if you've never seen Survivor, check it out. Russell Hantz, piece of shit. What you got next?
Well, next up, I have. You ever heard of Dance Moms?
Oh yeah, I'm glad a Dance Mom made it on this list.
There's this lady named Abby Lee Miller who, like, I think she's pretty recognizable. At least her voice is. She's always screaming at someone.
Yeah.
So she was known for screaming at young dancers, publicly criticizing their weight, appearance, their talent. These like kids, She used humiliation as motivation. So maybe that worked a long time ago in Greek life, but at a little girls like dance school, I don't know if that's appropriate,
Yeah.
In 2020, former dancer, her name was Adriana Smith, mother of dancer Cameron, accused Miller of making racially insensitive remarks. So this is kind of like I think people tolerated Abby Lee Miller, but this was the moment that her agencies and the networks were like, okay, we're not going to touch this. So remember when everyone loved Paula Deen, but then she liked to use the N-word, and people were like, okay, we have to distance ourselves from this, So the most widely reported allegation was that Miller said she didn't want Cameron on the team because of the color of her skin, and referenced not wanting the dancer around due to stereotypes. And so then Abby Lee Miller issued a public apology saying she was deeply remorseful, but the backlash was severe, rightfully so. And so, like I said, as a result, she was dropped by her talent agency, and then Lifetime canceled her planned Dance Moms spin-off project. So they were like, we're done with you. Many viewers felt that her behavior crossed the line from tough coaching to emotional abuse. So a huge part of the show's drama came from her constant arguments with mothers, especially there was one named Christy Lukasiak and Kelly Hyland. I don't remember that specifically. The fights were loud, personal, sometimes physical, reinforcing her villain image. And she was also accused of favoring certain dancers, most notably Maddie Ziegler, who you might have seen in some of the Sia music videos. And then she was much harsher on others. So viewers perceived this as unfair and manipulative. So what can you do? But remember, JoJo Siwa came from this show.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
And Abby wasn't nice to JoJo.
And I will say, I'm sure she wasn't nice to anyone, but Abby was also responsible for one of the funniest reality TV scenes I have ever seen in my life, where she is at some concert or whatever, I forget, some performance with the dancers. It's a packed house.
Is she in her wheelchair?
She's sitting there in her wheelchair. And she's talking shit. And then And then the mom like, stop doing that. It's rude. And she literally like storms out in the wheelchair like, you see her speeding down the road and the cars are chasing her. That's her. That's her. And she's like screaming. Now she does.
You know where
like,
she went,
honestly,
right?
I'm not doing it justice. I forgot where she went. To the police, right? To claim that it
Yeah,
was like
that's all
assault
the
or something.
report.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, so production lost her. Like, where did she go? They're like, oh, there she is, there she is. So they're chasing because her motorized wheelchair is fast.
It goes
And-
fast. I have to say that, especially she's a big lady. That wheelchair like has like a fucking motor and a half in it. Like she weighs at least 200 pounds. That thing is fucking scooting through. I'm not even a fan of the show, and I remember seeing that scene, and I was like, okay, I get why people watch this shit now. This is legendary.
She also went to jail
Like,
for
what a total bitch.
like tax evasion, I guess, or like fraud regarding like bankruptcy. I think like if you like file bankruptcy, you have to be like really transparent about your finances. I don't think she was. So yeah, she went to jail for a little bit. That's kind of a common theme on this list here.
Wow. That is. These reality TV stars don't like paying their taxes, it seems.
What's his face from Survivor? What was his name? Russell? He looks like he's done some time in jail. Doesn't he look like a convict? Has he been in jail?
He does. He looks like, let me see if that's the guy. Remember Tom Sizemore, the actor? He was in a lot of 90s stuff. He kind of looks like that. And he would play like a lot of like criminals, convicts, sometimes soldiers, but he kind of looks like that guy. So I can totally see it based on the movies Tom Sizemore has played. He also had a huge coke habit, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that guy definitely looks like he knows what he's doing in a prison. But
who do you have next? And I wonder if this next person spent any time in jail.
Well, he definitely has, but not for tax evasion, I don't believe. But number 3, I got to go with someone who, as the show ended, wasn't even the most hated man in it. But he, in my eyes, he is the biggest villain to come out of that show. And it's Vanderpump Rules and the Valley's own Jax Taylor, ladies and gentlemen, at my number 3. Because while it was Tom Sandoval, that took over America with his Scandoval affair, Jax was, and forever will be the villain in Vanderpump Rules. Like, Sandoval was a bad guy for 1 season. Jax was a complete asshole for over 10 seasons and a whole new ass show in the Valley. He cheated on relationships over and over and over and over, even to the one that is now his ex-wife and mother of her kids. He lied as far as you could throw him. He was egotistical all the time. He was manipulative, the whole 9 yards. And then on top of it, the icing on the cake was that he would do all these awful things and then somehow find a way to position himself as the victim in all of it. He also, Tom Sandoval scandal took off, but Jax literally slept with Tom Sandoval's girlfriend at the time, Kristen Doughty, who was Thomas's best friend, while gaslighting everybody about it for a whole season. And he did go to jail because he even stole sunglasses in Hawaii during an episode, and he got arrested mid-cast trip. And I'm pretty sure it was like his engagement party or something like that in Hawaii. There was like a whole reason why they were out there, and him being arrested in the island while everybody else was leaving was definitely not part of the trip. So Jax, he literally just made a career and made millions on just being a piece of shit. What saved him was that he was handsome, but I have to say, he is one that life doesn't seem to be too kind to him these days. He's not coming back for the next season of The Valley because he's taking care of personal issues and all that stuff, going to rehab, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So I do hope the best for him, but he is one of those where it seems like every 2 seasons or whatever TV show he was on, he would say, oh, I'm going to go get help. I'm going to change. But he uses it to make people like treat him better, and then he goes right back to the old ways. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes out of it. But if you watch Vanderpump Rule, you just know that he was the piece of shit in a show filled with a lot of very flawed people. But he would stand out from episode 1. He was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I think that he has some narcissistic tendencies for sure, and
Absolutely.
he makes a lot of bad decisions, and then it's everyone else's fault but his, and whatever. But I will say that when he was on the first season of Villains, I think he got voted off the first episode, maybe, which was surprising because he has the physical stature to like really kick ass in some of these physical challenges.
Totally.
But he was just so stupid. He was so easy.
That's
to
what I was about to
him.
say. He was a fucking idiot, and like he went on the show. It wasn't season 1 of the show; it was season 2 of the show. So by now, there's a whole ass season that you can watch and say, "Oh, this is what the show is. Let me prepare." He literally went on there and said, "Oh, I didn't watch the show. My agents and everybody that I know told me make sure you watch season 1 so you know what to expect." And he was like, "I didn't do any of that. Fuck it," And so of course he went on there. He had no idea what the fuck was going on ever. So it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, watch a game show. If you're gonna go participate in it, do a little research. Even if it was season 1, there's plenty of game shows out there that are very similar to this, where you can see like the type of way that it works and get some kind of idea to what the fuck you're gonna do, But yeah, he was a total dumbass. Like he lasted like 15 minutes. Like it's crazy. So, yeah, Jax, I'm sorry, brother, but you are a piece of work. And number 3 on my end of the list.
Well, I think I have 2 left. Next? So the next one I have was actually the first one that came to mind because she's a very polarizing personality just in general. But this is Omarosa. I don't know how to pronounce her maiden name, Manigault Newman. So on the first season of The Apprentice, all the way back in 2004, she was known for backstabbing, creating conflicts, and like in-your-face antics, earning her the reputation of one of TV's most infamous villains. So in 2008, she appeared in season 1 of The Celebrity Apprentice. So I think everyone else was like an actual celebrity, but she was the only former apprentice contestant invited to compete because her reputation was like insane. So her appearance was again controversial thanks to the season-long feud with Piers Morgan, who I think won the season. And then she was eliminated in episode 10. And then she made a third apprentice appearance in 2013 on the All-Star season of Celebrity Apprentice, in which she was fired yet again. Ooh, third time's a charm? Nope. So, what makes her a little bit controversial outside of that show is that before and during her time with the Trump administration, she was accused of being difficult, with reports indicating that she was removed from 4 jobs in 2 years during the Clinton administration. It was considered disruptive. So she was a very proud Democrat for a long time and worked at a young age, I think in the White House for Bill Clinton. And then later on, I don't know, she had a change of heart. She supported Donald Trump. So she actually supported Hillary Clinton for the 2016 campaign and ultimately supported Donald Trump and his presidency and was appointed in his cabinet. So she was labeled a mood changer in the Trump White House and was reportedly escorted off the premises after being fired by Chief of Staff John Kelly, a spectacle that cemented her to some as a liability. So I think that for Trump, she was director of African American outreach. And so she coordinated like in-person outreach from Trump to the African American community, including his first visit to African American Church at Great Faith International Ministries in Detroit. But
it's also ridiculous that she would even sign up to do that, because it's like, okay, like imagine Omarosa knocks on your door, right? And you're, an African American, and says, "Hi, I'm Omarosa. I'm here to tell you about Donald Trump here and the great things he's going to do for African Americans in this country. All I have to do if I've seen the show is be like, isn't he the guy that fucking humiliated you and like talks shit about you and says awful things about you to anybody that will listen? And now he's clearly just putting you here, you know, to garner support for black people. It's like, what? Like, like if I'm like, if I get a knock from her, I'm fucking like, what? This is the best you got? Like, come on, dude. She should have known better.
Well, it was short-lived because she took a disloyal turn. So after previously portraying herself as a loyal supporter, she turned into a harsh critic of Donald Trump, releasing secret recordings and a very damning book, which earned her the reputation of being a disgruntled former employee and disloyal. Okay, at my job, let's say someone interviewed and they said, I went to Harvard and we hired them. Then it turns out they didn't go to Harvard. They lied on their resume. That's grounds for firing, you know? So investigations early in her career revealed that she sometimes inflated her professional titles. Bobert, what's that mean? Okay, so she sometimes inflated her professional titles and achievements, leading to questions about her credibility. She also had a very infamous encounter on both the Bethany Frankel talk show and also Wendy Williams talk show. She and Wendy Williams, it was tense, and they went at it. It's a good YouTube search. Anywho, that's my
I'll check that out.
number 2 slot. She was also on House of Villains.
Number 2. Yeah, she was. I think season 1, and I have to say, she was good in it. There was something about her that when she would take the room and she would speak, like they were all like legitimately kind of intimidated and afraid of her, and they would listen. And she made it pretty far on the show and would not even do half the physical challenges. She would just tell people to do her bidding, essentially, and just because she was a Morosa, they would. So it goes to show, like, this woman walked into a house of little TV villains who are told, be the biggest fucking cockbag you can for a TV show. And they were all, like, in awe of her. So, yeah, I think she is well-deserved on that spot on your list. Okay. And on to my number 2. I'm going to go back to the world of Survivor. And I have to say, this guy pulled such a cold move that he almost was not my number 1. But the number 1, I think, ultimately deserves it just a little bit better. However, I'm talking about Johnny Fairplay from Survival, who also appeared on season 1 of House of Villains. So goes to show. And he's also even popped into the pro wrestling world for a little bit. But Johnny Fairplay wasn't just a villain. He was 100% intentional about it. Like, he came into the game openly saying he wanted to be the most hated player ever. In fact, he essentially invented the modern wrestling heel archetype for reality competition shows that you see today, where people really play into it. And as I stated, Johnny Fairplay even popped in wrestling because he's a huge wrestling fan. So he got it. He got that being hated means people will pay money to see you lose. So good for him in that sense. But he would constantly lean into deceit as entertainment. He'd bond with people, then immediately mock them in confessionals. He would weaponize their trust and treat a relationship as props. He wasn't randomly messy. He knew when to stir the drama, when to play weak, and when to perform. In fact, his villainy was theatrical and totally predetermined. However, he is best known for pulling one of the most dastardly reality TV show moves in TV history.
Horrible. It's so horrible.
Like, what a fuck? This took place on the reality juggernaut Survivor. And at the time, the cast members hadn't seen their family in weeks. They were starving, emotionally shot, 100% exhausted, the whole 9 yards. And then it was loved one's visit day. Out walked Johnny Fairplay's buddy. They hugged. It was emotional. Everyone's watching. And then all of a sudden, his friend said, "Your grandma, she passed away." literally, this completely left the whole tribe stunned. Stunned, I says. People started tearing up. They felt totally awful for him. You could see like the sympathy shift in real time from being the most hated person in the tribe to now one of the most liked because of this. This man had just lost his grandmother and he's out there competing for $1 million. This meant that they went easier on him in the next challenge. They comforted him back at camp. He became the grieving grandson on the show. But then here's the kicker. When the TV show aired, when the season for that season aired, it turned out his grandma was alive, completely fine, just watching at home like the rest of us. He had planned it before the show even started. Like it wasn't even a heat of the moment lie to pretend your grandma was dead. He coordinated that shit in a premeditated psychological operation. Like he lied about his grandma dying for strategic advantage on a reality show. That wasn't just villain behavior. That was Mount Rushmore reality TV villain behavior.
It's psycho.
He's
it's psycho and such bad karma. Don't say things like that.
Such bad karma. Pretending someone in your family's dead like that. What? Like, dude, that is so shitty. That is such a shitty thing to do. Which, again, he almost was my number one for this.
Once upon a time, I dated this guy back in Chicago, and it was my first, like, serious boyfriend, and we lived together for a while, and he was down on his luck, and I think that maybe he might have been, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I have reason to believe that maybe he was spending his money on substances. Let's just say that. He was a liar, and I would find like sometimes like money was missing, and he was just very sneaky. And we paid our rent separately. And one day, the landlord reached out to me. She's like, "Oh, I've been trying to get your number, but the number that your boyfriend gave us wasn't right." I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She's like, "Yeah, every one of his checks for the past 3 months have bounced, and we can't afford all these non-sufficient fund fees." I was like, "What?" So she's like, "Yeah, like we're gonna have to like evict you guys if you guys can't come up with the money." And she's like, "I feel horrible because I know that he's really going through a lot because his dad is sick." I said, "What?" She said, "His dad is sick, right?"
No.
I said, no. This is a lot of information. I said, "Can I call you back?" So he was in the apartment. I went down to the lobby and I called her back and I was like, "What do you mean his dad is sick?" She's like, "He's home right now taking care of his sick father. His father's dying of cancer." I said, "No, that's not true. He's actually in the apartment." And she's like, "Well, I'm going to send you some emails that he sent me." And so she sent me emails that my boyfriend at the time, that sent her. It was so incriminating, and I just couldn't get past that.
My God.
And there's a lot of things I like overlooked, but like using a perfectly healthy family member in that way is such bad karma. It's not a good look, you know. So she said to me, he doesn't know this, but if you're listening, surprise. So she said to me, she's like, "Listen, like I don't know what to do." I said, "Well, I think that maybe I need to have a conversation and maybe we need to part ways. So evict us." She said, "Listen, I'm going to drop off a 5-day notice to your job. Can you hold it for 4 days and then present it to him on the last day?" And I was like, "Sure." She's like, "And then we will take you off the lease and we'll go after him with litigation." I said, "Okay, that sounds good." So I was very sneaky about it. So I held on to the 5-day notice because I was afraid that he would have come up with the money somehow. So I held on to the 5-day notice, and then they were able to follow through with an eviction.
Wow. That's wild, dude. That's fucking crazy.
So whether it's on reality TV show or not, it's psycho behavior. Johnny Fairplay, if he was my neighbor, I wouldn't want to be friendly with him. I would avoid him.
Fuck no. Yeah, that as soon as you literally lie about someone that close to you and your family dying, because the thing is, his grandma was like almost like a second mom to him. Like it was like everybody knew that he loved his grandma. That's like saying your mom died. You know what I mean? Like Woo! You had to be a real piece of shit to come up with that. So, yeah, Johnny Fairplay. That's why you're my number 2, because you're a piece of shit. Yeah. All right. So, we each have one to go.
So this one is like my all-time favorite. I just think she's so brilliant, and she's such good television. So, her real name is Tiffany Pollard, but the world knows her as New York. And this is a name that Flavor Flav gave her. So she was runner-up on the first season of Flavor of Love, and then she came back for the second season. I think she was also a runner-up again. On Flavor of Love, she was loud, blunt, dramatic, completely unfiltered. I remember this girl said at one point, she's like, people confuse me for Beyonce. She was like, you look like Luther Vandross. Like she was so like memeable and so fun to quote her. She was just good television. So she insulted competitors with theatrical, almost Shakespearean level reads, but did it with charisma and humor. Viewers loved to hate her, and then ultimately they just like loved her. So then she got a spinoff, I Love New York, and she had 2 seasons. I like that she confronted people directly, not like Johnny Fairplay that would like make fun of people behind their back. She was very transparent, no subtle manipulation, no fake niceness, just explosive honesty. The transparency oddly made her feel more authentic than many polished reality stars. So she was able to turn her villainry into a brand. And so I think you said she's on the 3rd season of House of Villains. So she would have been on every season of it.
Every season, she's the only one that gets invited. And like, I feel like now it's just like a running gag to keep her as long as possible on the show. But it's so funny. And the thing is, like, even when she tries to be mean on the show, I end up loving her because she's been around for so long now that I get her character. But man, she was one that at first I used to see her as kind of unhinged. But in hindsight, I do like what you said, which is if she has a problem with you, she'll say it to your face, and she doesn't give a fuck who you are. Like, she will just address it. And the funny thing is that a lot of people end up liking her after the fact because she, even though she's crazy in her way, she is very sensible in other ways, But if you've been a fan of these shows that she's been on, like, not to cross New York. You know what I mean? Like, I would not fucking piss her off. She's 44 years old. It, like, I'd run from her.
How many reality TV stars? There aren't that many, but how many can you think of that have stayed relevant for 2 decades? So she's done a good job, like branding herself. She's built long-term
without
pop
being
culture
on like
relevance.
The Challenge and shit like that. Totally.
She's a meme icon. She's also had multiple spinoffs, not just I Love New York, but she's had a lot of shows. Like there's like a Breakfast with Tiffany show, I think. So I'm just impressed with her. I adore her. She's my favorite. But I want to read. There's a monologue that she has that she read or that she said in, I think it's the Britain's Big Brother, like the UK Big Brother. So she didn't get along with this girl named Gemma. And so in the confessional, I'm going to read a very iconic moment that I'm not going to imitate New York because there's only one New York, but I just want to just read the text that made her famous, even more famous. She said, and I quote, "Pretty much, I would let Gemma know that she is a fat cunt. And the shoes that she gave me were not something that I would particularly buy for myself. They were old maiden type of shoes. And she said that those shoes were meant to be worn on a beautiful woman. So if that is the case, she should have put them back on the rack. And she should never even purchase them because she was unqualified to own those shoes, if that's the case. And I think Gemma is just a disgrace. She's a disgrace to women who are actually beautiful and classy, and she doesn't have the vernacular she thinks she possesses. Somebody lied to her several times and told her that she was fly, hot, and sexy and beautiful, and she's nothing like that. She's nothing of the sort. This quote has been put on mugs and t-shirts and handbags. I see this everywhere on social media.
And the thing is, the words are funny, but the way that she says them makes it even better because her cadence. And no, New York, if you're listening, I don't want you to take this as an insult because I think it's one of the more entertaining parts about you. But her cadence is kind of like when you're talking to someone who's like half drunk a little bit. You know, she has like a swag to her. With, I don't know. I mean, she kind of a cut, you know. And it makes it so much funnier the way she says what she's saying, in addition to the fact that what she's saying is some wild shit half the time. So it's like she really has the overall package to be an evil, entertaining villain that even though she's dastardly, has been around making people's lives miserable in reality TV for almost 20 fucking years, I still love her. But I understand that she deserves number one on your side. So,
but you know what, though?
She's a great pick.
She had evil tendencies, but no one's more evil than her mother. Did you ever see her mother on TV?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
She was unhinged.
There you go. Everybody learns from their mama. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was Mr. Mo's number one. Tiffany Pollard, a.k.a. New York. And now I'm going to take you to my number one from another show that is one of the more long-running TV shows in all time. It's Big Brother, and this guy is Dan Gheesling, or Gheesling. I honestly forget how to pronounce his name, so please don't hate us, Dan. And why he's number one. To first tell you why he's number one, I got to give you a little quick Big Brother context, because even though Big Brother has been around a lot, not everybody has seen it. So, like, the rules are not like Survivor and shit where people already know kind of what you're getting into without even having to watch the show.
I never watched it.
Yeah, so if you've never seen it, Big Brother is like a social strategy game where contestants live together 24/7. Every week, one player becomes head of household and nominates two people for eviction. And then the house votes on those nominees out. So it's pure paranoia and alliance politics. And so when I say that Dan was manipulative, we mean he controlled votes in a house where everyone is constantly scheming against each other. So what made him so evil? Oh, man, we talked about this earlier. He played the nice Catholic school teacher role, which, as we know, those the ones holding out the I'm a good Catholic usually aren't. So he entered the house as a quiet, soft-spoken high school teacher from Michigan. He spoke calmly. He rarely yelled. He let the bigger personalities clash. He made people feel comfortable confiding in him. He intentionally lowered his threat level so no one saw him as dangerous early on. He wasn't the loud villain. He was the patient one. However, with that patience came a lot of manipulation because he manipulated people into betraying their own allies. He would constantly promise loyalty to multiple sides. He would made several final two deals to trick people. He would encourage people to target each other instead of him. And the wild part, he would convince someone that betraying their closest ally was actually good for their game. And they believed him. He didn't scream. He didn't intimidate. He reasoned people into self-destruction. So when even the jurors found out that he manipulated them, many actually respected the strategy instead of feeling personally attacked, which is fucking elite villainy. However, he also orchestrated what is known to many reality TV show fans as one of the most ruthless yet good moves that someone can do. He orchestrated what is now known as Dan's funeral, his most ruthless move. And this is legendary, I have to say. I got to give him credit because at one point late into his Big Brother season, Dan was basically dead in the water. He was nominated for eviction, and literally everyone in the house planned to vote him out. However, instead of scrambling quietly, he staged a house meeting. Before that, he locked himself in a room for 24 hours pretending to be emotionally broken. told people he was done. I'm going home. I don't care anymore. Then he gathered the entire house and gave this dramatic speech, acting like he had given up on the game. He complimented many house guests who were like his quote unquote enemies, and then verbally attacked his closest ally, who was a contestant named Danielle, acting like she was a traitor. That made the rest of the house think he had no allies left and that he was dead in the water, essentially. And it looked like he was blowing up his own game, but it was 100% calculated, because after his funeral, he approached the head of the household, which is the guy named Frank, and one of the power veto holders, and he told Frank that he was willing to work with him and give up his former alliance, which was known as the Quack Pack on the show. This deal promised Frank a better outcome if Frank and the veto holders saved Dan instead of evicting him, which caused a vote flip, meaning the House reversed who they planned to evict. Instead of Dan being kicked out, the veto holder used the power of veto on him to save him, which forced Frank to nominate someone else, and that person was evicted instead. So within 24 hours, he went from guaranteed eviction to completely saved. He literally orchestrated his own funeral to resurrect his game. And why is he number one? Johnny Fairplay literally pretended like his grandma fucking died. But while Johnny Fairplay had the most shocking single lie, Russell Hands had the most aggressive intimidation, Dan Gheesling had the most complete psychological control of a house full of paranoid adults for 3 whole fucking months. He didn't just lie. He engineered reality for these people, all while hiding behind the mask of being like a good Christian, Catholic teacher guy who would never hurt a fly, which to me just makes it the most successful and the most evil. Some Ted Bundy motherfucking shit, but on reality TV. Because what was Ted Bundy's MO? He would sit there, he would put on a cast in his arm, he would wait for a beautiful young lady to walk in, and then he would look as pitiful and pathetic as possible and as weak as possible to draw them to him. And by the time they noticed that he was lying, it was too late, because they were getting hit in the head with a fucking pipe and then murdered. And this is this man's strategy, which made him successful. And I have to say, sticks him as a solid number one on my list. Boom, baby. Dan Gheesling.
I'm sad that I didn't have any housewives, but if we had a top 20, I would have had some housewives for sure. But no,
I agree.
I didn't have any.
I agree. I was sad that we didn't have a housewife, but I agree. If it was top 20, because I just feel like the housewives are more evil in terms of like their cattiness towards each other, but it's like, they're all rich. They're not costing each other anything. These other people, we're all fighting for money. So I think that when you're fighting, when money is the end goal, it brings that extra evil out of you. You know what I mean? So that's where I think these people edged out the housewives. So I feel like the housewives were more catty and shitty towards each other versus just flat out evil. That's just me. So yeah, if it was the top 20, you'd definitely see some housewives though. However, we can totally revisit this topic, and we'll do the top 10 most evil housewives, the most iconic ones, at some other date. So let us know if that's something you want to hear. Shoot us an email, FratChatPodcast@gmail.com. FratChatPodcast@gmail.com, and we'll make it happen if you want. What were you saying?
I'm saying iconic and evil would be 2 different sets of women. Some are iconic because they're evil,
That's right.
But some that are iconic I wouldn't classify as evil. So there might be 2 shows in the future.
That's right. So if you're into the housewives, let us know. Shoot us an email again, FratChatPodcast@gmail.com, or let us know of any other topics that you want us to cover. We love hearing from you guys. Also, keep sending us those questions. Emails from the listeners are my favorite segment. So keep sending us those questions. Anything you want us to talk about. The guy whose lady keeps shitting in front of him. I would like an update on this relationship of yours. Jeremy from Providence. Let us know. And Anthony from Florida. Let us know if you had that awkward conversation of your ABCs or shit. You might just be dyslexic and doing it the wrong way. You don't know. So let us know. We'd love to hear an update. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, frat chatter of all ages, it's time for us to roll. So make sure you give us a follow on all social channels. That's FratChat Podcast on Instagram, on Threads, on YouTube, on Twitter/X, on Facebook. Again, send us an email, fratchatpodcast@gmail.com, for topics you want to hear, or emails from the listener, questions or comments you want us to read. Good or bad, send them. We will read them on the air. And also make sure you give me a follow as well. Check out my website, carlosgarciacomedy.com, where you can check me out on all social channels at Carlos Does the World. That's on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Facebook, Carlos Does World, on Twitter/X, to keep seeing me yell, release the files, because that's all I post on Twitter. And make sure you follow my good buddy Simo here at chris.moore.comedy on Instagram and TikTok, and Seymour Comedy on Twitter/X. Oh, yeah. So, Mr. Mo, it's time for us to go. So why don't you please get us out of here?
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
And I second. All right, you guys, we'll be back next week with another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts and time. It's the FratChat Podcast. See ya.
Ciao.